Hey everybody, Marcy here with Creators Call Shop here on YouTube and Creators Call on Etsy. And today I am just prepping some books for these journals. Last week's video I made some prayer pockets for them. So today I'm trying to get the journals ready. So yesterday I was getting these all cleaned up and getting all the residue off and the stickers and making them look real pretty, and I was thinking about this video and what I was gonna say in it, and all of a sudden we were very rudely interrupted. So I will talk about that in just a minute, but first get your drink, get yourself comfy and settled, and we'll be right back to talk about what happened. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so what happened yesterday? I'm sitting here innocently watching my Netflix and thinking about this video, and the title of today's video is Things I Am Not Doing and Things I'm Pursuing During Isolation. It was meant to be something to help encourage you all and trying to be relevant to the situation. So I was sitting here thinking about that and getting these books cleaned up, and all of a sudden, I had dinner in the oven. It was going. It was nice. All of a sudden, everything started shaking. Like down in my kitchen, things started like rattling and shaking, and I thought, oh my gosh, my stove is blowing up. I better go check on dinner. And then I looked around and noticed that my walls were shaking and my windows were shaking, and we were having an earthquake. Now, this may not seem like a big deal to some of you, because maybe that's like, you know, something you're kind of used to. That's not something I'm used to. That's not something I want to get used to. And it turns out that we had an earthquake here in Idaho. Yesterday was March 31st, 2020, and I'm considering it a little early April Fool's joke. Thank you so much to Mother Nature. Like, she couldn't wait till April 1st. She decided to shake things up. And I saw a post yesterday that said something about, so the split, that said something about, we got all 4 seasons in one day and then an earthquake too. Oh, thank you so much, Idaho. That's really what it was. We had some wild weather yesterday, and it was nice and warm, and then it hailed in the morning, which hail in and of itself isn't that unusual, but in March in Idaho, it's kind of unusual. So anyhow, the reason I have these little thingies in here is I was pulling books apart last night, and so I was putting in pages that I wanted to go in each individual journal. So that's what those are. Anyway, it was just kind of funny. I needed some humor because honestly, folks, that really was unnerving. Every word that I can think of to describe the situation is kind of a pun on an earthquake. So I've had some trouble identifying the feeling without making it sound like I'm joking, because that was not fun. I've never been in one before, and the last big one we had here was in 1983. I was away at college. So maybe you caught my Insta story that I posted last night, maybe not. I was just sitting here doing my thing in my craft room, and all of a sudden everything was moving. And it was really weird because my dog, I thought animals were supposed to react or give you like a heads up or some, I don't know. I always heard the animals act strangely right before. Maybe that's a tornado, I don't know. But in Idaho, we don't do things like tornadoes and creepy large bugs and tsunamis. We do have fires sometimes, forest fires, but that doesn't threaten my person, generally speaking. It would if I lived in the mountains, but I don't. Anyway, so it really rattled me, no pun intended. And I started to think on why that might be, and why it is I can deal with the pandemic, but not, excuse me, why I can kind of handle that mentally, but not an earthquake. And I think it was just the feeling of being out of control and being helpless, because I can kind of control where I go and what I do and who I see, how clean we're staying, you know, the precautionary measures. But when the earth decides to start jumping around underneath your feet, the earth that I rely on to be stable, that I have no control in that situation. So it made me think about, you know, it just tested tested my faith just a little bit. Caused me to question, where is my security right at the moment? And it just really helped me to refocus. So 2020 has definitely been a year of surprises, especially for us. And definitely, I kind of went into it thinking I need to refocus. And we've had so many things lately with Etsy doing their free shipping last summer, and trying COPPA stuff going on when I was ready to start my YouTube channel. But, you know, it's all caused me to think about, where's my focus? What am I focusing on? So it was just another experience causing me to reevaluate and adjust my focus. Okay, enough about that. Uh-oh, some of these are going to give me a little trouble. Sorry. Anyway. So, things I'm doing and things I'm not doing and things I'm pursuing during isolation. So let's get on with that. Oh, no. Well, I guess that's okay. I'm going to cut the spine off anyway, right? Number one, I'm not doing home improvement projects. Last year, 2019, for us was a year of projects and events and just like one thing after another. So I tend to put projects on my list. Sometimes those are things I enjoy doing, almost to take a break, because it appeals to my creative side when I'm working and making things pretty around the house. And then, it also appeals to my productive side because it's measurable. So I'm not doing that. I want to do something more fun, because I do those anyway. We still have some painting to do around here that we started last fall, but I wasn't going to do that until the weather's a little bit nicer outside anyway. Ideally, March is a great time to paint here around my house, but I was busy doing other things like helping my children pack and move to another state. So we've just had some, you know, unexpected things in 2020. So home improvement projects I am not doing, not pursuing. Next thing I am not pursuing, number two, I'm not organizing or purging or decluttering, because the reason why is because I've been doing that for the last 3 years. So my younger daughter got married almost 3 years ago in 2017, July. And my older one got married in 2015. And so once the younger one got married, we started decluttering and downsizing. And I've watched tons of organizing videos as well as crafting videos over the last 3 years. So I'm feeling pretty decluttered. And then when we had our carpeting put in November, we had to move everything out. So I took that opportunity to continue to declutter, get rid of some more stuff. So I'm good on decluttering. These are kind of things I do all the time. Number three, I'm not cleaning or over cleaning like a maniac. I'm definitely following, you know, healthy guidelines. I had gotten into watching Fly Lady and doing her routines. Oh, I forgot to set my timer. Holy schmoly. Okay. I'm trying to keep this to a very short, under 30 minutes, and try not to edit. We'll see. We'll see how we do. I've probably been yakking for like 5 minutes. Okay. Number three was cleaning or over cleaning like a maniac. I try to have a routine. I checked into the Fly Lady system, and I've adapted it to suit my husband and myself, which is one of the beauties of that system, actually, because you can tailor it for your own situation. And once the kids are gone, really, we don't have that much laundry. We don't make that big of a mess. So I don't need, I've kind of gotten into a routine and a better system of picking up after myself. I'm not perfect, and I don't plan to be, but I do. Her motto is good enough is good enough, and frankly, what I'm doing is good enough. So I don't need to worry about over cleaning. I have supplies I need, and I'm keeping up with the basics and the precautions that we need to take, but I'm not scrubbing everything down. I live in a fairly clean house anyway. So number four, I am not oversaturating with news and updates, and which frankly contributes to my panic, you know, to everybody's panic. So I'm good if I watch in the morning or I watch once in the evening and get caught up, which I don't even do that most of the time because my husband is a news junkie, and he's one of those who he'll just go crazy listening to all this stuff, and I hear a lot of it through him anyway. I don't need news. I have my husband. He likes to follow all that. For me, I'm good. I've heard it. I've heard the update. Once you've told me, now it's history. It's no longer news. I don't need to be told it. You know, it doesn't really change that much, frankly. Certainly not hour by hour, but he, you know, he's always on his phone and turns on the news. He's a news junkie. So I'm good with that. I'm not oversaturating with news and information. Number 5, I'm not over-exercising or starting a crazy exercise routine because I don't wanna. I'm not big on, I'm not a big exerciser. I'm not big on this, what is it, like the extreme exercising or starting those intense programs. I never have been. I don't like to sweat. I think it's a tactile thing. I'm very tactile and I hate sweating. I hate it. And I grew up with wearing glasses. Oh dear. So sweating, frankly, is not very fun when you wear glasses 24/7 because your glasses fall off your face. And they steam up when you get overheated, and it's just not ideal. If I'd had better vision, I probably would have liked exercising more. I don't know. So we're not doing that. What I do need to do is start just some basic stretches because I have noticed I'm getting a little flabby. And I hurt my foot a few years ago, and it took like a year and a half or so to really get back to where I could even figure out what shoes felt good. And so I got out of my walking routine. So that is one thing I want to get back into. Number 6, one thing I am not doing is overwatching TV, Netflix, Hulu, whatever. I kind of watch TV anyway. I like to watch it when I craft. I watch YouTube videos. And yesterday I was watching Netflix when the earthquake hit. I was watching, so side note here, I was watching The English Game, which was written by Julian Fellows. And if you're familiar with him, he's written on a lot of things, but most recently was the Downton Abbey series on PBS. And I love his writing. So I was watching that, and it's kind of about the birth of soccer, aka football, in the rest of the world, in the US soccer, but kind of how that got started and just a little bit of the progression. It's 6 episodes, I believe, so I finished it while I was working in here doing stuff. So anyway, that's a good one. Go watch that. And then I also watched another one on Netflix. I kind of filled up my queue so I could do this while I craft, but The Badland. Not Badlands, The Badland. It's about this guy who's a bounty hunter after the Civil War. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of got that Western feel. Anyway, but I'm not watching too much. I'm not watching more than I normally do. And along with that, number 7, I'm not becoming a slob. Not letting myself go. I am keeping up with my daily grooming habits. But also I'm not overdressing for the day. I'm remaining comfortable and clean. So I did trim my nails for this video. See? And I did tweeze my eyebrows, but you can't tell. Anyway, so I'm not just taking this opportunity to just become a complete and utter slob, because once you go down that path, it's kind of hard to come back. No, I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, I just don't want to do that. I just want to maintain my basic everyday clean routine. The Fly Lady has you like dress to shoes every day, and I've never done that because I have around the house shoes that make my feet feel good and they don't go outside. So I don't really, my feet get tired in my tennis shoes at a certain point in the day. They're mad at me and they would like the shoes off. So anyway, I don't do that, but I do, you know, I get dressed and I get myself cleaned up and that kind of thing. Number 8. I have one thing I am not doing, not pursuing, is my online selling right at the moment. I temporarily closed my Etsy shop, partly because I ran out of packing tape, but mostly, no, that was just a convenient coincidence, but mostly, oh, Marcy, careful. mostly, I just didn't want to hassle with all of that right now, and I didn't, there's still not 100% evidence on how much of it could be coming into the home on packages or going out. Maybe I'm being paranoid. I don't know. I just didn't want to mess with it right now. And sometimes when I close my shop, it allows me the freedom to be more creative. So I also took down all my eBay listings just temporarily because, again, some of them were local listings, and I don't think this is a good time for meeting up with selling. Anyway, so not doing my online selling. And then number 9, one more thing I am not doing or pursuing is cooking more or taking on baking of bread. Okay, so I have to say though that when I did first come home, I did try making bread, and I went through a little granola phase because we were eating a lot of homemade granola. And I finally came up with the recipe we like, but now we don't really eat the granola, so that's pointless. And I did do some bread baking, but it was kind of a phase, and I'm done with that. So I'm not overindulging in cooking, along with the decluttering and cleaning and Fly Lady. I also, 3 years ago, we started on Financial Peace, Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps, and so part of that, to eliminate a lot of extra expense, is cooking at home. So I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm really kind of bored with my own cooking, but what I did do was I took a lot of ingredients that I already had on hand before they went bad, and I pre-made casseroles and stuff, but did not invest in any cookbooks or anything right now. So I think while we talk, I'm going to go ahead and pull these apart. So I noticed these little stories. Dear junk journalers out there, they're not like the golden books that fold in half and then the pages follow progression, so you can easily insert other pages in between. These were like, some pages were glued to other pages that were folded, and so it doesn't come apart in signatures. So it's going to be a real challenge, but it'll be fun. I'll make it work. I got nothing but time to figure this out, right? So anyway, I'm going to try to pull these apart while I finish talking. Okay, so I'm not cooking more. I already do that. So now, those are what I'm not doing, but what am I doing? What am I definitely doing? So one thing I'm definitely doing is keeping tabs on people, especially my mom, who's home alone. And after that earthquake yesterday, I texted her. I was like, oh my gosh, did you feel that? Was that an earthquake? What the heck? She goes, oh yes, it was just like the one in 1983. I'm like, okay, good. But she's home alone. And then I said, okay, I just need to check up on you and make sure okay. And, especially in a time when we're not supposed to be leaving our houses, it makes it harder. Like if that had been an actual emergency, how would I have gotten a hold of my mom or checked in? I would have had to drive, Anyway, and she said, I could literally just die here and no one would find me for days because I'm here alone and no one knows when I'm home most of the time. It's because she's busy. She's busy a lot, except for right now. I did ask her, are you socially isolating? Are you staying home like you're supposed to? Oh, fearless, independent one. And she said she was, but anyway, I just thought it was funny. I could die here and nobody would know for days. Well, I'd like to think that's not true. Anyway, so I'm keeping tabs on mom, my kids, my friends. And number 2, definitely growing out my hair right now. Without any social embarrassment. So I have kind of a short, it was supposed to be a pixie, and I don't know. I can't get the vision in my mind to mind meld with the hairdressers to get what I think it should be. So anyway, I thought, I think I'm going to go back to a bob. So I'm reaching that awkward stage. So I think a 30-day confinement right now will be great because I won't have to go out in public and show my crazy hairdo. Anyway, so that's kind of a humorous one. Number 3, what am I definitely doing? I am trying to watch my portion sizes and not use this as an opportunity to overeat. So trying to just make sure that I'm still eating healthy and getting the nutrition I need, and maybe I can come out of this 30 days looking a little better. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm trying to not overeat and really be careful about what I eat and not overindulge. Number 4, what am I doing? I am crafting guilt-free without time constraint. So sometimes I feel pressure, like I can't get started because I have this appointment or that appointment or somebody needs me here or there or whatever, and frankly it limits my creativity. Let's see if I can pull these apart. And I'm half blind because I'm old and, well, I'm already about half blind. Anyway, I hope the sound on this is okay. I have jerry-rigged. I should maybe show a picture. My son-in-law left a mic stand at their place, and we found it, so I brought it home and I've jerry-rigged it as a camera stand. So I can't attach my little earbud thingy, so I hope my volume is okay. Hope you can hear me all right. But anyway, it's kind of funny. It's working, sort of. Definitely, I noticed on my last video that, what was I doing? I was cutting something or doing, what did I do? Anyway, it was jiggling the camera because it was sitting here on the table. So then I saw this mic stand and an idea was born. Anyway, I might try to show you a picture. It's kind of comical, but I can't wear my earbuds. That's the upshot. So hopefully the volume's fine. But I am crafting guilt-free without time constraint, and I got time to make all these lovely spring journals. And then my friend Carol, thank you Carol, she requested 2 Jonah journals, so she's keeping me accountable. She didn't know it, but she is holding me accountable to get these worked on and done. Okay, Paul, I really need you to cooperate with me here. See what I mean? Like, this is a signature, and then they glued the signature together. But then there's very few where it's the actual 2-page spread. So I think what is going to end up happening is I'm going to be taking a lot of these apart and creating hinges. But these are glued. I don't know if you can see that or not, but these are glued, like right here. But that's not the middle of the signature. There isn't a signature. Just a bunch of gluing. Okay, Paul, you're good enough for now. Let's go to the Lord's Prayer. Let's see, what was I doing? I am crafting guilt-free. Number 4. Number 5. I am trying to keep up with like regular meal times, regular sleeping schedule, and not using this as an excuse to get off schedule, because that will mess up appetite. When your appetite's off or you're not following regular meal times or whatever, that also affects your sleeping schedule. So I'm trying to maintain those things that are just going to keep me healthier in the long run. Where am I? Number 6. I'm enjoying my downtime. I'm kind of an introvert and I like to stay at home a little bit. I'm fine when I'm out. I'm social enough. But, you know, I don't go seeking to be out of the house 24/7. That's just not my personality. So I'm enjoying this downtime, and I'm not making light by any means of the situation. But honestly, for me, for some of us, being told to stay home, which is what I do every day anyway, without an excuse, without having to make an excuse to stay home, I guess. I don't have to feel guilty about it, so I'm enjoying that. Number 7, I am keeping the house picked up, and I'm staying on top of just like tidiness and general wipe down, clean, but not going overboard, which we already talked about in the not pursuing section. Number 8, I'm keeping up with like my financial things, budgeting, and I am going to be finishing my taxes because I started them. Didn't really like the numbers I was seeing, and I had to put it aside for a bit while we were helping the kids with their moving, but now here we are, and I haven't really paid close attention. The deadline got extended, right, for the state and the federal, so I just want to get it done so I don't have to think about it anymore. So I'll be working on that in the next couple weeks. It says, number 9. One thing we are definitely doing is supporting other businesses and small business or local people as much as possible. So some ways we did that. Hold on, I need to steal my notes here. Some ways we did that were my friend, who is also my Mary Kay consultant, and I placed an order with her, which I needed to do anyway, but Mary Kay has been asked, well, Mary Kay first decided to stop filling orders as of a certain date. So we had to get those ordered, and so that was a good incentive for me to quickly place the order I had been procrastinating about. So I'm keeping my Mary Kay lady going, and then Mary Kay, kudos to them, was approached to help make hand sanitizers for healthcare workers, and so they have been figuring out how to convert their business and use packaging and such that they already have on hand to accommodate the need for hand sanitizer. Yay, Mary Kay, you go, Mary Kay. So anyway, I'm supporting my Mary Kay consultant and her home business. Another one, we hired someone to come in and clean when my kids moved out of their place. So we were helping, and we paid for that, and which was something we had set aside money for, so we were able to do that. It's not a hardship. And then supporting restaurants. And one really good way right now to support restaurants, even if you can't go in and dine in, there's still a lot of people going and doing takeout, and you can do the curbside. But along with that, if you don't even want to do that or what have you, you can purchase gift certificates from these restaurants. So a friend of ours, his wife, or a friend of my husband's, his wife has a small restaurant that she runs, and so they suggested buying gift certificates, and then you won't be using them now, but it will help give the income now, and then you can use them later once we're all allowed to go out again. So restaurants, gift certificates, my Mary Kay lady, cleaning. Also, we'll be hiring a handyman repair kind of thing to go over and do some repairs over at their place that they vacated. So we can do that, and that's good. He'll be working in isolation and will be contributing to his income a little bit. And then also, one thing I am keeping up on is laundry, but our washing machine kind of just pooped out last week. So luckily all the laundry was caught up at that point. So I had to call an appliance repair service. So we're keeping them helped out with a little extra support and patronage. And they came and fixed my washing machine, so that was nice. So those are just little things. We're trying to support where we can other businesses and other people in ways that we can contribute to that. Okay, so that was number 9. Now, things I might do. I might, don't hold me to any of these. These are just things I might do. I might start prepping my yard for spring and start my gardening. We'll see. It's not urgent because it's just now April, and time to plant is technically May 10th, when all danger of frost is past. So I'm not in a big hurry on that, but it would be nice to go out and just, the weeds have decided that there is nothing going on right now that hinders them from growing in my yard, and they just popped up this last week or so. So I was a little surprised and miffed. So I may do that. Our anniversary is April 21st, so that's coming right up, and we will not be celebrating outside of the home. Anyway, we might go order from a restaurant though and pick it up and bring it home. Anyway, but we have Easter, we have birthdays, we have a lot of family celebrations in the spring. And some holidays in there, and so this year it's different. It's obviously we're not having all of those. We're suspending them for this year, or maybe delaying till later in the year. So gardening and prepping my yard usually gets put to the side because we're so busy, but not this year. And last year I actually worked on my yard. It was great, and it looks so great. I want to, if I can get a jump on it, that would be great. So that's a might do. Might start walking every day. I'm saying 10 minutes. My husband said 45, so let's split the difference. If I could walk like 30 minutes every day for 30 days, whoa, that would really make a difference, wouldn't it? But it's in the might category. Might film more videos for you, but I don't know. I'm not promising. And number 4, I might do more tea dyeing and Kool-Aid dyeing and prepping my papers and things for journals, because this would be a great time to do that. And nobody's over, so I don't... If I lay things out on the counter to dry or what have you, then nobody's coming over, so I don't have to clean up really fast. I can just leave it there and let it air dry for a few days, and no one's disturbed. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, those are some things I am doing / not doing / might be doing. Things I'm not doing, things I'm pursuing to ride out isolation time. So sequestered in my little home. One more thing I'm not doing or might not be doing is having another earthquake experience. I don't want to do that again. I'm done. That was not something I wanted to do ever. And here, it just showed up. So today I'm going to read for you first 2 verses that popped into my mind yesterday, because I was kind of walking around on pins and needles like, oh my gosh, we're going to have aftershocks. Is my house going to start shaking again? Can I rely on my ground I walk on? Okay. Try not to let my fear run away with me. And the first verse that popped into my mind was Matthew 6, verse 34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Thank you, Jesus. He's speaking here in Matthew 6, and it's true that my first thought was, don't worry about tomorrow. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And it's true. I don't need to worry about what's coming tomorrow. I just need to deal with today. And then along with that, in Philippians 4, he's talking about not being anxious, and that these were verses that I referred to in my last video, but not being anxious and praying instead about things that trouble you. But at the end of that, he says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And then right here, and the God of peace will be with you. And it caused me to really stop and realize, what am I thinking on? What am I regurgitating in my mind? Because I kind of kept waking up all night like, oh my gosh, is the bed going to shake? And I don't want to live that way. I don't want to live in fear. I want to live in the comfort and knowledge that my God takes care of me. And it might happen again, and it might not. And he knew it was going to happen. He knew all this crazy stuff was going to happen. One right after the other. And he still has continued to work in the past towards today, towards this current present that we are living in. So I'm really bad at explaining these things, but I hope I get the point across. But just really readjusting my thought process and my mind, because it really did. It was upsetting. It messed with my head for a bit, and it's still messing with my head. But we're not going to let it win. We have victory. Victory over our thoughts, and we have control over what we think about, and not going to let it dictate the rest of my month, week, isolation, solitary, rest of 2020, or any of that. It's okay. It's okay. So the last thing I wanted to read, this has been hanging up over here where you can't see, and is something I like to look at and reflect on, and it's Benediction by Brian Jeffrey Leach. And I tore it out of one of the hymnals. Benediction. May the Lord take from you all resistance to his will. May he give you the fullness of his life and the sufficiency of his practical daily help. May the Lord send you during this week to come to those he can only serve through your unique experience of life and your very special abilities. May the Lord bring us together even when we are apart, as we learn to be supportive of one another in our prayers and our service. Amen. So it's a benediction that we rely on God's help daily and in a practical way, but at the same time, he can use you still in this time. It says bring us together even when we are apart, and right now we feel that more than ever. But we can still be used by God, and he can still supply his daily help, and we can still support each other, whether it's through prayers or through acts of service. So I want to send you all on your way with that thought. I hope this encouraged you, and hopefully you guys are thinking of some things you can do and not do during your isolation time. And one quick note, I read on one of my Instagram posts, somebody saying, we can only emerge from this stronger and better as we pursue those things in this downtime that give us joy, that give us peace, and that are related to our strengths. So anyway, you all stay safe, and for now, I want you to be inspired and do something creative today. Bye-bye.